Hey there, it's Dr. Boca. This one's for anyone downsizing after decades in one home. You think it's going to be simple, right? And then you open a closet and realize you've been quietly storing an entire emotional timeline. STG Concierge Moving and Organizing specializes in full home packing for real transitions like these, whether it's downsizing, assisted living, or even moving out of state. They don't rush you, and they don't judge why you've kept every school project your kids have ever made. They plan the process, pack thoughtfully, and keep everything organized so you're not emotionally processing and labeling boxes all at the same time. If this move represents a new chapter, and maybe even a tender one, you don't have to white knuckle it. Go to www.stgconcierge.com and see what supported downsizing actually looks like. It's very different from doing it all alone.
What do you get when the audacious and the therapist collide? A crash course in unpolished therapy. Rachel Silver-Cohen and Dr. Boca aren't afraid to spin out of control, tackling all the tough talk. Their weekly sesh meets at the corner of Audacity and Advice, where their wheels and yours get turned upside down.
Hi, Dr. Boca.
Hello, Rach. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm so happy to meet at the corner of Audacity and Advice
Me
with you
too.
always.
My favorite day of the week.
I know it. I know it. I'm ready to get my wheels spun upside down, and I'm going to spin your wheels a little bit. You ready for that?
Okay. Oh, this is exciting.
Well, you know how I always tell you, or I'm always kind of quasi complaining that what do I do, Dr. Boca? I work. We do the podcasts when we can squeeze it in with our crazy schedules, right? And for the most part, I live under a rock, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I cannot tell you for how long all of my Yenta friends have been saying, can you play Canasta? Can you be a sub? Could you play Masha? And I'm like, what? Canasta? And I'm like, my Asta. Okay. Like, who plays Canasta? What are we, grandparents here?
Yes.
In the meantime, okay, you know me. I always say, like, when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong.
Yes.
Or I don't know if it's because I didn't want to have to keep coming up with excuses why I wasn't interested, or I wanted to just see what all the rigmarole was about. But I feel like Canasta has become like this new Fantasta thing, or at least I'm just getting the memo now. So I decided to jump on the bandwagon.
No.
Swear to God.
No.
Okay? And you know me, I've created a monster out of myself. Okay.
Oh no, I can only even imagine. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't even.
Well, I'm like the nerd with like the notes and you know, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the right way, right?
Absolutely.
So one of my girlfriends was like, come over, I'll teach you, whatever. And she was great. I just want to put out the caveat that she was an excellent teacher, but then I really needed to learn how to play, right?
Yeah.
And there are these two fabulous girls in town, okay, who have taken Canasta. They've made a business out of this. It's their passion. They are the Canasta Girls. That's what they call themselves.
No way. Because I know there's like a Mahjong maven or something like that.
Well, Mahjong maven is maybe our next conversation.
I don't know anything about Canasta. Like I tried it once and well, that's another, whatever.
Well, let me tell you, I have now turned into a real junkie. I'm practicing, I'm taking lessons, and I have them here with us today because now all I do when I'm not working or living under a rock is I'm practicing Canasta.
Wait, oh my gosh. Wait, so I could actually walk out of this meeting now, meeting these two Canasta girls and maybe being sold on the concept of liking Canasta, even though my experience with Canasta was a train wreck.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is exciting.
So, without further ado, I am going to bring into our Unpolished conversation Liz Ginder and Lisa Youngelson, aka the Canasta Girls, and we are going to talk all things Canasta.
I'm super excited.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us. I don't know if you heard the intro or not, but you folks have absolutely created a monster out of me. And
I bumped into you in Woodfield, so I saw that.
That's right. Which we're going to get to that in a minute because I've been playing nonstop. I am definitely here to say that if I was converted into a card player, anybody can be converted.
I'm like, I'm speechless, right? Like, not only that these girls must be phenomenal to even get you to be playing, but now to have gone down the rabbit hole and made yourself into a, a canasta, I don't know,
Queen, if you
queen,
will. I mean,
right?
and I don't want to be presumptuous. There's still so much I need to know, which is one of the reasons that I can't wait to have my 4th lesson with you, because I like jumped the gun and started playing before I even finished
You
up my
didn't even
lesson.
finish. Oh my gosh. So, wow, you guys are really impressive. Okay, so
Let's
tell
start
me
at
about
the
this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you two are young, beautiful women in our community, and clearly Canasta is a passion of yours. And Dr. Boca and I absolutely just love anyone, but most notably young female women who take a passion and then they make a career out of it. So you guys have the floor. Give us a little backstory on how Canasta Girls came to be.
Okay. So how Canasta Girls came to be started about like a year and a half ago. Lisa and I have been friends for 10 years. And like you said, Dr. Boca, Mahjong was having its moment, right? And on my Instagram reel, all I was seeing was Mahjong teaching groups of women together. And a light bulb went off in my mind, like, I'm a good canasta player and I'm a former teacher. So why don't I ask my bestie here if we should start teaching canasta? And basically that's how it started. It was a conversation, and I just said, Lisa, let's do this.
So how long have you guys been playing canasta, and how did you guys get into it? Because like, I didn't even know, like, to me, canasta's for like 90-year-olds, but
Absolutely.
so was Mahjong, even though I watched my mother play Mahjong.
Right.
And now I'm sad to say that I'm probably the age my mother was when I saw my mother playing
Right.
Mahjong.
Right.
I'm in denial about that, and I'm proud of that. But so how did you guys get into canasta at being so young?
So
Right.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
So I actually, my mother, when you're saying Canasta Queen, my mom is the Canasta Queen. She's been playing for a really long time.
Title I'm giving back to your mom.
I like to call her that. But about a little over 9 years ago, we were talking, and for some reason we were interested, and we wanted to get a group of girls together and have something to do. You know, you have book clubs, you have bunko night. And my mom had always been talking about canasta. She always wanted me to learn. She tried to teach me, but I wasn't in the right headspace. And then Liz had mentioned that she wanted to learn, and we got a group of about, I think it was 6 or 7 girls who got together, and my mom came and taught us, and she taught us over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, and 6 of us stuck. And for the past 9 years, every Monday night, give or take a couple, we have been playing. And what's great is that Canasta is a game of 4 people, and we have 6 in the group. So if one of us can't make it, or 2 of us can't make it, we have 4. So that's why we've been able to be consistent for the past 9 years. And we've gone on trips together, and it's, you know, you talk about therapy, it's our form of therapy. We get together.
Absolutely.
We are 6 girls. We all have our kids are different ages. They go to different schools. So we're not connected that way. So it actually gives us that opportunity to talk to each other and not have, you know, a biased thought, or, you know, oh, you're talking about my kid, and we can kind of vent and talk about our lives. And it's just our special 2 hours every week.
I love that. It's interesting. And again, the only parallel I can make is Mahjong, because I did, I do that. And I am no Mahjong maven or queen or even like princess, or even like, I'm like the little peasant person that follows them around, right? But my friends had no clue. So I was like one step ahead of them. And I used to teach them when we first had babies, and we were, searching for something to do outside of like Babyland. And that's what as time has gone on, that's where I've kind of put my attention. And one of the girls that I play Maj with tried to teach us canasta. And you have never seen, like, we talk on here, Rachel can identify that we are so unpolished. This was the most unpolishedly disastrous experience, because at least in Mahjong, you can like kind of fake it till you make it, and nobody's depending on you. And if you mess up your hand, you mess up your hand. But I had to like add at 7 o'clock at night, and adding at, 11 o'clock in the morning is hard enough, but now you're going to have me add, and somebody across the way is going to be dependent on me. And I was like, I'm tapping out, can't do it. And then all of a sudden, like a couple of months later, everybody I know is playing Canasta, and now I'm jealous. I need you guys. I kind of need you.
So one thing to make you a little less stressed. One, no one sees the cards that are in your hand. So if you mess up, we have no idea what you have there to begin with.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Second thing, you're dealing with counting in 5s and 10s. So, and at the end of the round, we can use a calculator if we get to a number where we're like, oh my God, this is way above our pay grade. We use calculators all the time. But it's not that. I think learning mahjong and dealing with like bams and bops and I don't even know what, quirks and cracks and flowers and bamboos, whatever.
Different language.
Harder. You're learning another language basically when you're learning mahjong. I took a class, and I think with the Charleston and the this and the that, it's like so much information that I actually think it's easier if you get it out of your mind that it's all about adding and numbers and whatnot. We teach our class we break it up very well, where the first 2 classes are definitely the hardest. You're learning all the rules and everything in class 1 and 2. If you can stick it out and get to class 3, you're doing a lot more playing and a lot more understanding. So it's really only 2 classes of learning the rules. And then it's fun because no one knows what you're doing and you do.
Yeah. And we'll go back to our early days, and Lisa will attest to this. I couldn't get it.
I never wanted to be with a partner.
Nobody wanted to be with me. Like, I'm very special with math, like very special. And I
knew you looked familiar. I knew you looked familiar back in the day when I was in the special math class too. I'm right there with you.
And if I can get through it, I feel like anybody can. It's just like anything else with practice and time and playing. Like you can get yourself to take our 4 or 5 or 6 lessons, but then it's really going to come down to like if you follow through. It's like anything else in life, you know.
Like
and playing is how you really get the bug to keep playing.
Right.
Yes. And we've been playing for over 9 years, but the first 4 or 5 years, we were playing with the same girls. And we were all playing the same way. We helped each other out. We would call my mother and ask her like questions, and we weren't scared to ask or help each other out. But we didn't really learn and get really advanced until we started playing with different people, and you learn from people you play with.
Yeah.
So you can either stay in your little, group, or you can move on and fill in for other people, and you always learn something new.
So I want to go back to something when you talk about your mom, and we're going to give props where they're due. And Lisa's mom is the queen of Canasta. If you're listening, Lisa's mom, I'm taking my crown.
Very excited. I don't think she's ever listened to the podcast, but
it was a self-proclaimed crown, but I should really give it back. I don't know who I think I am. That being said, though, I want to kind of just feel better that in today's world, this isn't our mother's canasta or bridge, or, I grew up, my parents and my grandparents, they were big bridge players. And I used to play gin rummy as a kid growing up on snow days. I used to play rummy cube. I still have the wooden box, like the original wooden box with those metal clips. And to me, that's such a throwback to my childhood. But I am in my own denial about aging. I'd like you to make me feel better, and lie if you have to, that the canasta craze, if you will, has gotten generationally younger and younger. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So in the past year and a half, we've taught almost, we've lost count, but I think around 300 people, all under the age of 55.
Oh, you just made it.
Below that. I would say like 55, even younger. And a lot of the groups we have are moms who have little kids at home who are like, get me out of this house. I don't care what I do. I don't care what I'm playing. I don't want to put my kids to bed. I don't want to give them a bath tonight. I want to be with my friends. And we got a lot of friend groups that came together just to get out of the house on a Tuesday night so that their husbands had to deal with bath time and bedtime. So, and now we have people that come to us all the time, say, thank you so much, because my family knows when I'm leaving Tuesday night to play Canasta, that's my time. Yeah. And it's not like I'm going to hang out on someone's couch. Like, that's our thing. Yeah. And every Tuesday night, that's what I do. And bye.
And you definitely have those groups of girls, even us in the beginning or so, because we've been playing now for 9 years
ago, we were
young.
35, 36, 35, 37.
But, you know, we drink wine, we snack, we snack.
Let me tell you something, Lisa. The day you saw me at Woodfield, and I've since played in some other communities, which I want to get to in a minute, though. But my line was like, "I came for the cards, but I staying for the snacks."
Yeah,
the best.
Another thing, also,
or the people watching. And
Yes.
that room is packed to the brim, and there's like 3 canasta rooms there, and it seems to be very young. I looked in that room, and there were a lot of young people playing.
Well, the room that I was in, and I said to my friends who had finally corralled me to play, we were so loud, and I was embarrassed, and I was like, are we always this loud, or do I have something to do with this? Are we going to get kicked out of here? And when I went into the other room for like the better snacks, I could not get over what, I mean, there was some serious hardcore cracking, you know, flowering from the Mahjong thing.
Oh, that was
There
very loud.
Serious canasta happening there.
Right.
So,
Wait, Rach, I know that you're biting at the bit to get to all your questions, but I have to ask this because again, using Mahjong as the reference, and we're talking about how long you guys have been doing this and the evolution of your friendship groups and all of that. I don't know how this plays out in Canasta, no pun intended, but I could literally record an episode that would go viral if I was recording our Mahjong now with all of us in perimenopause. And it is no joke. It's like, wait, whose turn was it? Wait, did you pass yet? Wait, what are you talking about? Like, is that a crack? No, that's a bam. Oh no, that's a 2. That was an 8 that you just threw. Did you call that? Do you have to pick one? Like, it is literally like, we are there for the camaraderie and the friends, the food, the wine, if that's what people are doing. The Mahjong is last, and thank goodness it's last, because we don't know what the hell is going on, and we laugh and pee ourselves like it is the greatest thing ever. So I don't know if the same thing happens.
Yeah, definitely the same thing happens.
Okay.
It depends on your group.
Right.
Okay.
Honestly. And it depends on like the vibe and the time of day and who you're with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we have groups and our original group is chill, laid back, you know, not to say that we don't laugh and have fun. We totally do. And our conversation is really light and silly. And we're talking about like, all that woman stuff. Like, oh my God, I need, you know, perimenopause. I need, you know, something for my hair. I need magnesium. I'm pooping. I'm not pooping. All of that, for sure. But we also have groups of women that we play with, and it's a more serious game. And it really depends on, you know,
the type of vibe you want.
Right. So I want to speak to that, and I'm actually going to out myself with this. And Dr. Boca, this is something that you won't be surprised. And Lisa and Liz, in the few times that we've gotten together, my guess is you figured this out about me. But I think that I am, because I'm so type A and like got to get it right, I think I would bring the vibe down because I'm so laser focused on whose turn is it? Did you count? Is that enough points? And I think that's also why initially I was so against learning, because the idea in the middle of my busy workday, I'm going to go sit around with the presidentes. I don't have time for that. And while it has been such a breath of fresh air for me, you've got to speak to people like me who I guess would be like that competitive assassin, or there's the social butterfly, or, you know, I don't want to out the stuff you do in your lessons, but you even made a reference in teaching the newbies that you have different nicknames for some of your friends that you've played with over the years, correct?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I think, and you being, even if you're type A, the more you play, the more, it's like anything, you're going to learn it. You're going to be able, we can play this with our eyes closed. We can be serious and talk. And I mean, you just got to get out there and play and meet people, and you'll just get more comfortable. And even if you are that type A, you'll still be the social butterfly because it'll just come very naturally to you.
Right.
So, okay. I'm curious, what were both of your personality styles when you first started? And also, what have you kind of come to see are the personality styles that tend to enjoy it more, pick it up quicker, like really are back in the special room with me and, you know, on the bus somewhere? Like, what have you guys kind of found out over the years?
Well, first we can go to the over the years thing. When it
Yep.
comes to our groups, the people that we see that we think are not going to succeed are the ones that come in nervous and start making excuses right off the bat. Like, I'm not going to get it. It takes
Okay.
me a long time. It's like if you come in and you're just excited to meet people and learn the game, and we try to break it up easy enough. You have to be, like, in the right mindset to want to learn something.
Sure.
But if you're already making excuses, it's not going to happen. But
Our job is not so different, right?
Right,
My patients
right.
have to come in and they have to be in the mindset that they want to change, they want to learn, they want to grow. So
Yeah.
I hear that completely.
So in terms of like us, I don't know. What did you think that I was?
Well,
Put you on the spot
I'm a
there.
competitive person.
Oh yeah. So we
I am
also
like-
used to play tennis together.
Okay.
And Liz, I knew from a very early age, is very competitive. And we also work at camp together, and I see she's a
it's a Ginder
Your
way.
chemistry works together.
It does, because
Which you're very lucky though, because a lot of people, as we know from a million of our other conversations, Dr. Broca, that we've had, and just women in general, and the town that we live in, and I'm sure it's evidence in other towns too, that you have to have the right dynamic. Friendships
Yes.
Sure.
are wonderful for tennis, let's say, or
a certain
Canasta.
purpose.
But then you find out, well, we're great locally, but we're not good if we travel together. And
Right.
there's other layers,
Yeah.
if you will, that get peeled back. So you're very lucky that your friendship has only grown as a result of
Sure.
this.
It's turned into a marriage now. So I think that I spend more time with Liz than I do my actual family, just
Wow.
because we're together. Well, not this year, which I'm very sad about, but for the past 4 years at camp, we were living together for 8 weeks.
Wow.
And then we work daytime and nighttime together. So, and then we play together. So
Wow.
Well,
we
that's
spend
a
lot of
special
time together.
chemistry.
And I
It's
start seeing I start turning into her wife a little bit. Like, we have a little bickers here and there.
I will tell you though, and I'm sure Dr. Broca, you can speak to this though, that to have chemistry with someone that you've been lifelong friends with, and now you're business partners together,
Yeah.
that's not for the faint of heart. It doesn't
No.
always go in the right direction.
No.
I mean, Dr. Broca and I feel like, we've had a really great run, and
We have.
we consider ourselves lucky. I don't think that that's something that just happens. With
No.
us, we weren't really acquaintances,
Barely
then
knew each other.
grew
Yeah.
as a result of a business arrangement. But you guys are very lucky, which kind of from the Unpolished standpoint, I have to ask, because I just
Yeah.
have you seen friendships gone wrong through the Canasta table?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, we have.
We have?
No. Well,
Name names, but you got to give us a
haven't
little
mentioned
juice.
any names, but no, I mean, listen, it's a personality thing that I think that even if it weren't at the Canasta table, it would happen elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. But
I wouldn't see any like friendships like really broken up over it.
I've
but
heard stories.
But we've heard stories
Yeah.
about it. But nobody I personally know. I think
Right.
Lisa has somebody in mind, but I'm
No,
not. It's
I know
not
it was
like
a story. It was a story that I've heard that they had like an issue over like a game, and then they stopped talking for a while, and then they reconnected. I don't know. I mean, you might have if you have a partner, and let's say you do something like we have something called signaling in the game, like when you have sevens and aces, you have to signal. And sometimes those signals can get crossed if you have like an easygoing, laid back player who doesn't always utilize the signaling the right way. So at the end of the game, you might get stuck with certain cards or whatnot and lose a lot of points. It can cause like a little bicker back and forth, but you got to leave it at the table and move on.
right.
Yeah.
I think most of the time it's left at the table
Yeah.
and moved on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But
And then again, we talk about the vibe. You want to be with people that
Right.
you enjoy spending time with anyway. You're not going to play with people that you don't like as a person. You want to be able to talk to these people, and if you don't like that personality, you move on. You find
Right.
a group that you like.
I will say one thing that does change dynamics is when you become a more experienced player and you play for money.
Yeah.
Even though we're talking about
A
dollars,
dollar.
here,
Right. Nickels and dimes here. Right.
nickels,
but-
dimes, dollars,
Mhm.
$10. It definitely changes the way people play and the
Isn't-
way people react, and it
Mhm.
becomes
Very
it
competitive.
takes a little bit of a different pathway
Turn.
when you
Yeah.
play for money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and isn't like the money the root of all evil, right? It's
Yeah.
always like money is an issue, whether it's in a game, whether
Yeah.
it's in life, whether it's in friendships, whether it's in business. Like money always just seems to.
I have
That's
to
a good
tell you,
point.
I'm putting myself back in the few scenarios where I've now played in a couple games, and the majority of my learning, of course, taking your lessons and then practicing online and really trying to hone my skill online.
Yeah.
And when I went, not the first time, when Lisa, when I saw you, because I was with friends, but I then played in another game at another club with it was a friend, but it was much more of an acquaintance. And the people at the table, the other two women, were complete strangers. And
Okay.
I, being someone who is very competitive and I care about the nuances of the game, I'm there to be social, but I'm there to kind of flex my minds a little bit in a different capacity. And I was sweating bullets because I didn't want to mess up. When you play on the computer, you have a robot to say you're sorry to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I could be a little bit more ambitious or risky with what I was doing and trying to practice that strategy. But when I now have, 4 of us and 3 other people, and one most notably relying on me, I was very, very concerned about my gameplay. And I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit, how you work yourself out of that other than just playing more, or if it's just you got to pop the cherry and just, if you mess up, you mess up.
At the end of the day, it's a game.
It's a game. Yeah.
And you're going to mess up because there's no exact, perfect way of playing. What you might do in your game is not something like what I might do is not something that what Lisa would do. And you kind of have to be flexible in that area. But I will say I've gone into situations. So let's say like I have my regular games that I have on my Monday night and my Wednesday game, but like I've gone to my mother's card party, or I've gone to like my aunt's where I've been invited, and I've been with different people that I don't necessarily know their style. And I know that feeling, Rachel, where you're just like, you don't want to mess up. Even now, I didn't know, like, there's something with going down with wild cards, and that's a special type of canasta. And, I know what I would do in my game with the people who I would normally play with. But in a situation where I don't know people and I don't want them to think that, like, I don't know what I'm doing or I screwed up, it definitely, is uncomfortable at first. But at the end of the day, you say to yourself, this is a game, we're having fun. I'd rather be here doing this than
Laundry.
Exactly.
Well, and so I don't like I said, I don't know the rules of canasta, right? There were way too many pages when I first looked at it, and so again, maybe at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it might be a better time for me to read these than at 7 o'clock at night after doing all those things. But as you were saying it, I was thinking, oh, you know what? If we're going to make the correlation, and it's the only thing I can speak to, which again is mahjong. And I had this group for, a long time. I played recently here at my clubhouse with another group, and I can relate, Rachel, to that feeling of like, here I am. I know how to do this. You didn't even know how to do this. Right. But they might play a little different than I do. Maybe they pick first before they throw, or whether they throw or they pick. And then just watching their strategy was a little different than my strategy. And I was like, oh, well, if I was playing with my group, they'd have no idea because they'd be too busy looking at the snacks of what was going on. And I could have totally won that. But this group like actually pays attention. And now I got to get my game on. And like, it takes me a while to get into it. So I can see like it's like a mind fuck. Like it plays with your brain sometimes when you change it up or you're new to it, or even when you're seasoned. And I used to play with my grandmother, and they move so fast. You canasta people are throwing and collecting cards and piles, and I'm like, whoa,
what is happening?
I'm like, I just went to sit down and I just saw way more than I ever imagined seeing. And I'm impressed by it. Like, I'm totally impressed. Skeptical and curious. And now if Rachel's in it, I feel like now I have a little
FOMO.
You
got to try.
And I have FOMO.
I'm in it.
I feel like, not to toot our horn or anything, but like we created this class with the help of Barbara, Lisa's mom. We went back to the basics. And I feel like, it's beginner. Like we start at the very beginning. Like even in our class right now, we do a class every Wednesday at Sugar High. We have new groups that start each month or so. And
Okay.
one girl came in and she lives in Woodfield, and she said she had taken like a beginner or she watched or something, and then came to us because she really didn't get it.
Mhm.
And then came to us and wanted to start fresh. And after the first class, she's like, I just want to let you guys know that even after this first class, I understand it so much more than I did when I took it here, or
Right.
had just sat
That's
down next to
great.
somebody, because it's very, we really take it slow. We go back, and it's sometimes hard for us to go back to like
Sure, the basics.
the basics.
Yeah.
I have to relate it back to, we both have education backgrounds. And the first thing you learn about is like prior knowledge. Like you really have to go back when you first start a lesson to the beginning. Like, okay, canasta is a game with 4 people. Anyone can walk into a room and see that, okay, there's 4 people playing canasta, but we say the person across from you is your partner. We really start right at the basics. And then once you have that, I think it gets easier and easier. But I also, it's interesting because I see a lot of times at these over 55s or the country clubs, these women come in and they try to teach groups of like 30 people.
Yeah.
Liz and I cap it. We really, really try to cap it at 8 people. And if we have friends that want to get together and stay together, we might go up to 10. But other than that, we want you to have an experience where you're actually going to learn the game and walk out there confident that you can play in.
Well, I will tell you, as your student, I was going to say your ex-student, but I still want to be
We
in your
have to get you a 4th
repertoire,
class.
right?
Yes.
No, well, I will tell you that I do tip my hat to you, and you should take the compliment because I've heard it about you from others as well, that having your education as your background and both being teachers, it has boded beautifully for you guys because you teach an excellent class, and the way that you have it laid out in the 4 different classes is you streamlined it beautifully, and it makes perfect sense why you've become so successful. And you've made learning something new really, really fun. I have said about myself, now that all I do is talk canasta, is I am a very, very good student. I'm not a good teacher. I wouldn't even know where to start teaching anyone how to do anything. So I really do commend both of you, taking something that you've loved so much and building a passion project and now a fruitful business. It's really remarkable.
Thank you. We love it. And our favorite thing is honestly, when we're out in the community and we see people that we've taught playing, it's like brings us such joy.
Well, what did I say to you, Lisa, when I saw you? I'm like, there's my teacher.
So I have a question because I'm, and I'm sure our audience does too. And as an outsider, so I get that there's 4 sessions. And I know that you're capping it between 8 and 10 people if there's friends. How long are they? Like, what if you can't show up to one of them? How much do they cost? And what is the expectation while you're there? And what do you plan on leaving with? Like what's the goodie bag, so to speak?
Right. So everyone gets their own goodie bag. What we say are the notes. You don't need to worry about taking notes. You don't need to worry about writing anything down. The first class, each class is an hour and a half long, because we like to take about 15 to 20 minutes just to go over the lesson. And then we want you to play, because when you play, that's when you actually learn. And then we literally walk around and we talk out loud, like as if we were playing that hand, saying, well, if we, in this situation, we would do this. You could also do this, and kind of give you all the different scenarios, because there's a lot of gray area when deciding on how you want to play your hand or your game. But that's what makes it fun and interesting, because every time you play is going to be a different situation. But we've broken it up where you get a folder and we have a cheat sheet. We have all of our notes typed out. And what else? So
the cheat sheet, Dr. Boca, is laminated. You know how I bring my calendar with me every now I bring my laminated cheat sheet from the Canasta Girls.
And when you go and you're a newbie, everybody has some form of a cheat sheet. I mean, there are people out there that sell their cheat sheets, just their cheat sheets. Like, so it's not like a faux pas to have it next to you when you're learning, because there's so much to remember, and there's so many rules, and there's so many point values that beginners have that cheat sheet next to them.
Right.
So as a person who's not going in there anticipating that I'm not going to get it, however,
Yeah.
some of our listeners may still have that frame of reference
Right.
because you've told me that if I go in there with that, I will not do well. And I'd like
Right.
to succeed at what I try doing.
Exactly.
But if on that off chance, one of our listeners is thinking this, is there an opportunity if they need additional classes?
Yeah.
Also, if you can't do every Wednesday 4 in a row or however you guys space
Right.
it out, can you do like a substitute
Yeah.
class? And if Wednesdays were never to work out, are
Yeah.
there opportunities to still
Yeah.
learn?
Yeah, and Wednesdays is just one example. Like we
Okay.
have private groups or other
Okay.
group time that we put out there each month. But we're also very accommodating, and we understand that things come up and shit happens.
Yeah.
So, if you can't make a class, we try to accommodate you, whether we meet you beforehand of the
Okay.
next class a little bit before to get you caught up on the prior week's lesson that you might have lost and then move ahead into that lesson.
Mhm.
Or
Okay.
at the end of 4 sessions, a lot of times we have people, our lesson is for four weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But after 4 weeks, to be honest, people still need a couple of additional lessons.
Okay.
But it's hard to commit or have somebody commit to 6 weeks. It
Sure.
just sounds like a lot. So we narrowed it down to 4, but usually people add on a lesson or 2 at the end.
See, that's so helpful to our listeners and
Yeah.
maybe
So
to
that's more
myself.
for, more guided play to make you feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe we throw in some new strategies. Like if you feel
Yes.
comfortable with the basics, now you can try to add in something to make you an even better player. I mean, there's a lot of strategy that you can use that. I mean, over 9 years, we've slowly did that. We try to give you as much information as possible in that month so that you walk away with everything in like your bank,
Right.
in terms of accommodating. I mean, Liz and I, you can text us at any time. There are people
Oh,
that will
yeah.
be playing online on Canasta Junction and they have a question because they don't understand why they can't do something. They take a picture of the screen and send it to
Love
us
that.
and we'll explain to them, what's going on in the situation. Something as easy as, oh, you're not dragging the card over.
That would
I've
be
taken pictures of my canasta and sent it to you when I've had like a lot of clean closes or whatever.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
just
It's
like,
exciting.
look, teachers.
Yeah.
Get an
Right.
A.
We'll get texts like, I got this special hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Or
love
we'll
that.
be teaching and we'll get a phone call and they'll say like, can we do this? Or am I allowed to do this? Like, so we're very accessible.
Yeah.
I would like
Love
to
What
that.
I would
Yeah,
love,
we are.
what I feel like I'm ready for now
Oh,
is
gosh.
to,
Oh,
right,
great.
I always have to like bend the rules a little bit, right? I'm going to make up my own class and you
Of
charge
course.
as you will, okay? But what I need now is to be in a real life game and I need like a kazoo, like you guys give me my kazoo, right? From like, what is that? From like the Flintstones or something, right?
Oh, like a speaker thingy?
No, remember
a kazoo?
kazoo from the Flintstones?
No.
Oh,
Like,
the little
Harry.
yeah, like the little alien person that
Oh,
was like
yes,
Oh,
wizard.
just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Like the
So that's
Tinkerbell.
so
Will
that's a
sit
guided
behind
play,
me.
are you saying?
Yes,
Where
so
we're
that
just
you
behind you kind
and
of
you
thinking
watch
for
me
you?
play and I say like, well, this is what I would do. Do you think? And to
Yeah.
just talk strategy to really kind of parse out
Yeah.
where my head is and
Mhm.
Yeah.
am I right? Am I wrong? What would you
Yep.
do?
That's
And
what we do.
that would up my game.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure.
So I'm already going to tell you this. This one I'm going to be very firm about. I am not playing with Rachel. She is not the vibe I'm looking for. Okay. Just putting that out there. I love you, Rach, but we'll do a
I know,
podcast.
and I admitted it. That I think I'm too rigid, which brings me to my next question,
Yeah.
which is, do you guys do any type of like
Therapy?
tournament
Oh, yeah.
that you set up, or you are the facilitators in real play where you're the masters and we all now come to where you are and you run structured tournaments?
Yeah. So we do. We have held tournaments. We love holding tournaments. We had one in March. We were gonna do one in April, but with spring break and everything, we couldn't figure it out. But hopefully we'll do one in May. We would like to get to a point of doing it once a month. Because people definitely are looking for a more competitive night. It's fun.
It was fun. But also what we love to do is like we've built a whole community. So of like Lisa said, like 300 and something women. And I would say like 3 or 4 months, it's not that it's a competitive tournament, but we hold these things called mingles and melds.
Mm.
Because
I love
meld
that.
is one of the terms in Canasta and a mingle and meld event. We've done quite a few in the evening. And it's basically open for all of our former students, whoever wants to come. It's just a night of getting together and randomly be put at a table with new people that you might not know. Maybe you're looking for a game and you don't know really, like, you know, how do I approach this situation? How am I finding people? It's just a night to get together. You're playing with different people that you don't normally play with. And it's a social, fun evening. And we put it out there to our community. We've gotten really good feedback there.
That's great.
I love that. So
Yeah.
I have two questions because, you know, this is what I do.
Go
The
ahead.
first one is, do men play canasta?
Ooh, yes.
We actually, it's so funny because I was talking about like what with Liz before, you know, when you talk about like the youthfulness of canasta, there's definitely some terminology that gets a little, if you have a dirty mind, it can get a little dirty. So we decided, a lot of women wanted to play with couples, so they wanted their husbands to learn. So we decided to start it, and we want to give a shout out to our friend Frankie. We call her the Hoarder.
Frankie
We talked
the
about that
Hoarder,
later. She's one of
Rachel.
our OG Canasta Girls for 9 years.
She's not a hoarder in her house.
No.
Her house is very clean. She's a
Just
hoarder
the game.
of cards. I just want to
Okay.
make that clear.
She's very clean.
Clear.
Okay.
So anyway, and we put together a Manasta Canasta game.
Oh,
So
Rachel,
we-
that's right up your alley with
Yeah,
the,
sorry.
the word.
With the wordplay.
We actually had a very large amount of men that wanted to do it. So we brought in Miss Queen, Barbara, to come and help us with a third table. So
Oh,
when
wow.
we would teach the lesson, and then when we broke up into three tables, I would have my mom and dad come and help facilitate that third table so that we could get them all in together. But that was a very fun class.
Interesting.
Very talkative. You know, they're very good with math and understanding, but it was very hard to like keep their attention. And then as soon as we said something, for example, like, you know, when you meld, we also call it going down.
Oh, they love that.
You know,
There you got
and
their
so a lot of
attention
them thought
there.
that was funny. We reverted back to when we were, 14 years old.
Right.
And
Sure.
we left.
It's the same as being a teacher, right? With the
Yeah,
whole
right.
classroom, it
Like,
all
And in
comes.
Canasta, there are two types of canastas, clean versus dirty. So like that
Okay.
got a little
Yeah, they liked going down with dirty
down.
canastas. And,
Right.
you know,
Of course.
but there's a lot of funny terminology that if you want to, these men, that's when we started realizing how you could,
You could be
associate.
unpolished. You could really be unpolished with your canasta.
You could be very
I
unpolished.
love it. I
I
think
started
that's
thinking,
great.
cocktail napkins. I thought, oh my
I
God,
love
that could be
Great.
funny, a cocktail napkin.
I
but
love
yeah.
it. I
So-
love it. What was your other question, Dr. Boca?
So it's two, actually, another two. I know we're never going to get to the end of all of this, but I'm so curious now, and you've gotten me excited. So you've half done your job here. Like, have you guys started doing any of like the things that I'm seeing in Mahjong where they're like marketing and branding their own line of cards or holders or those types of things?
We talk about it all the time because I think that's the main reason why Mahjong became so popular. Is
Yes.
people wanted pretty things to buy.
Yes.
All over TikTok and Instagram is all these Mahjong things. And I think, I don't want to be biased. I think Canasta is more fun and more social
People
because
say
you don't have
that.
to worry about like
Yep.
picking out whatever. And I do think that it's something that we want to do in the future. We've been talking about it for about 6 months. We did print out our own score sheet, so we're starting.
Great.
We're thinking about doing cards, but the holders, it's really finding a good manufacturer because we would
Right.
love to do that as well. Or canasta bags. We talk about it all the
We
time.
talk about it.
We're so busy teaching. that
Sure.
we need to have time to. We have so many ideas. We just need to figure out.
We have to
We
streamline
need
it.
to have a schedule of like how we're gonna, plan.
Right. Welcome
That's
to the world. We all have
Yeah.
these ideas. And the last question that I'm like dying to know is, with all of this and seeing all of the amazing impact that you've had on the community and the Canasta world, was there anything about it that was like shocking to you, or that was there anything that like you really didn't anticipate that was either good or bad? I mean, that just kind of happened over the course of this.
Yeah.
It's funny when Liz came to me and asked me if I wanted to do this with her. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I think I've had thousands of businesses. My resume is 45 pages long. So as soon as someone says something, I'm like, yes, I'll do it. And when we got together, I didn't think that anyone was gonna want to learn.
Wow.
And we posted it in our community page. And I think that first post when there were
It was like a few days, like we had created the flyer. We said we were going to start like sometime in early January. and we posted it like a day or two beforehand in our community page, and we wound up like
it was insane.
we didn't think we would even like get a group together.
No, I thought maybe 1 or 2 people, and this would be a little side gig that
You picked the pack right out of the gate.
It was crazy. And for the first like year, we had wait lists, and people like we were filling up these classes. I mean, we still do, but we were overwhelmed by the amount of women and men that wanted to learn how to play. And I'm trying to figure out, did they want to play? Did they want to learn to play canasta, or do they want to get out and have a reason to leave their house? I don't know.
Or both.
You know, what's so great about it is it's social, it's fun. Like now that we're comfortable with who we play with, and our games are set, like we show up in like pajamas. It's like you're getting together with friends, but you're not like spending money and going to dinner. You don't have to dress up. It's keeping me out of like TJ Maxx and like Home Goods, like playing a game during the day instead of going shopping. It's just another like.
It's a healthy addiction. It's a healthy way to get out of the house. And from my perspective too, yes, it's social and fun and all that. But if you want to really stimulate your mind and work on that strategy, the game calls for it.
100%.
Exactly.
And you can continue to learn new strategies moving forward. So like, yes, as we age, it's definitely a great way to keep your mind going and being social.
Well, that's it.
I remember when my grandmother, we're talking about grandmother, now we're going to bring it down to my grandfather passed away, and she had nobody. She had all the, so she found a group, and it gave her a life. It gave her something to do. And that can go with anyone. A lot of these moms at home that just deal with their kids and they don't have anything else. It gives them another avenue to get out.
And I say that to my patients all the time when they're feeling disconnected. They're all like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. And I said, when you learn how to do, whether it's canasta, bridge, mahjong, play golf, whatever it is,
pickle.
It's something, pickleball, another one I can't get into, but sure. Okay. But you can, now wherever you go, there's a commonality where you can connect to a group. It may not be everybody. It may not be, the people that you thought you were going to connect to, but obviously there's a liked shared interest and you now have a shared language and you can create a community within a community very easily. And it's important.
Absolutely. A lot of people have been moving down to Florida in the past.
I was just going to say,
since COVID, it's so overcrowded, but knowing this and having that, understanding of the game, you can meet anybody and find friends right away.
You have built-in camaraderie. To Dr. Boca's point, thank you for bringing in that therapy piece. And we want to remind the listeners and the people who are watching on YouTube, this isn't real therapy, and we do want to protect Dr. Boca's license. But I do feel as though you hit the nail on the head with that if you are feeling down or you're feeling a little lost and you're trying to find your way and you're looking for your purpose, and I'm not saying canasta has to be everyone's purpose, but while you're on that journey to figure out what's next, it really is a nice place to stop and learn something new and meet new people and feel that you're now part of a community event. And some of my friends have said to me from that therapy, non-therapy standpoint, it's a great way to get out of your world, your head for the 2 hours and sort of take a vacation from yourself. And that kind of stuck with me. And I underscored that when I finally took the leap to be like, you know what, I could use a vacation from my brain a little bit. Why not give it a crack? So,
and I'm sitting here going, Canasta just brought me to you guys, right? So I just met people that I didn't know. And now I feel like I like trumped everybody because I went right to the queen. I don't know. We can't use queen anymore. So we went to the bosses. How's that? We went straight to the bosses. I feel like
Lisa and Liz, if you can, then I would love for you to share with our listeners your social media handles, or if you have a website, or how can people reach you? Because I'm sure that if I've gotten the bug and now Dr. Boca's gotten the bug, we would imagine that others who have not taken classes from you would like to. How can they reach you both?
Sure.
So we're on Instagram and Facebook. It's Canasta Girls. I think Facebook is the Canasta Girls.
Okay.
And Instagram is Canasta_girls. That's what I think it is. We're looking now. Also we have people, so our flyers are all over the place. If you search Canasta, I'm sure in any group, our flyer with our phone numbers will get on. But if you just text us, I'll give my phone number out. You
Well,
can text.
we can link it in the show
you can
notes
link it
as
in
long
there.
as we have your
Really,
Instagram
we're very
handle.
approachable, and we're willing to work with anyone. If you want a private lesson, whether you have a group of 2 to a group of 10, we come to you, or we can meet at a clubhouse, and we're happy to help in any way we can.
Not private, then we have like these group sessions where, you know, we've had a lot of people come just like on their own,
Yeah.
you know, sort of like what you did, Rachel. Like, you didn't know anybody in that group, I don't think. You just
No.
showed up and, you know, meet other people. You're all starting at the same level.
Mhm.
Some people prefer to come with a friend because it's something they're more
It's like a
comfortable
clutch.
with.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever works for your schedule.
I would say come alone, because what's great is I actually just we live in the canyons, and I'll go into my clubhouse now on a Tuesday night, and I see 12 women playing.
Awesome.
All people that we taught that did not know each other before they learned from us.
Yeah.
Some of them were in 1 month group, the other one in another month group, and then we said you should reach out to them, and now they all play, and it's given them, you know, more of a social life. So even if you are at home by yourself and you don't have a friend, we're totally inviting. We love meeting new people. Come alone.
So I just for clarification for our listeners, would you consider doing an online class for people that might be out of state that are listening?
Yeah, that's a good.
So people have reached out, and we could teach it online with a camera and show you, but really it's a lot about playing live with people. So
Yeah.
we have to figure out how that would work.
Okay.
But
Just
we're open to anything. But
Right.
we would.
But for right now, it's mostly here in person. Our friends in New York want us to come up and do
You could go on the road.
on the
Canasta
road.
We actually
on the road.
We did go on the road down to South Beach, and that was a lot of fun. We met a lot of interesting people there, and that was a lot of fun to
couple
do.
groups
And,
we did
and
down
then
there.
from there, another group.
I have to tell you, word does travel, because
Yeah.
in the short amount of time that I'm playing, and I'm a nobody, but I cannot tell you how many people I've gotten calls or texts from that say, I heard you're playing Canasta now."
Canasta.
It's because it's shocking, Rach.
Yeah.
It's like huge news. That's why.
I know. Well, my response is yes, I'm playing, and yes, I'm loving it. No, I don't want to be in a set game. Not
Right.
because I don't love it, but because I just can't. But
Just-
I've told everyone I want to be like your first call when you need a sub.
Yeah.
I want to
Right.
be like first chair
The
sub
alternate.
line. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this was incredible, guys. I mean, thank you for taking my negative experience and selling me on the possibility of a very positive experience.
We are
And-
going to turn that around. You're going
Right.
to take our class, and you are
I
going to
promise
love
you.
it.
And
I love it.
And Dr. Boca, I want to just put out there that I suspect at some point you may, not in the beginning, but you may very well say, Rachel, you know what? I would be your partner.
Oh, I will be a partner.
Well, yes, I would be your partner if being a partner relies on somebody doing all the hard work and I can kind of coast along. Then yes, you are the perfect person, because you will make sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed.
But still, well, here's a strategy question though that I have for Lisa and Liz on that. I have thought to myself that, would I be a good partner, or would you can't be selfish. And I'm wondering, like, even if I was willing to be like, I got it, I'll handle it. How you can't really handle it on your own, because
Mhm.
you are reliant on that kind of chemistry that you're building. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, so then I have to reevaluate
I
this.
mean,
And
you don't think I would love to be in charge, Dr. Boca?
you know, there's a small part of me that might have fit and resonated with, you know, just from the little I know you, I would think that would be the position that you would favor. But
To take
hey,
to take away a little bit from the stress, if you do play with Rachel in the beginning when you first get dealt, but oh God, I can't believe I got dealt such an awful hand. So she won't expect anything from you.
there you go. Thank you. That is perfect. Okay, so Rach, there's hope that maybe I will play with you.
There's hope. Anything can happen. We're going to keep our minds open and our hands closed. But this has been great. I've had so much fun, and I can't wait to continue to play. And I hope that our listeners, if anything, they've gotten the Canasta bug, because for someone like me that used to say, Canasta my Asta, I've now in my repertoire, it's Canasta Fantasta. And I want
Aw.
to thank you both for joining us. We will link all of the show notes so that everyone will know how to reach out to you. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you for teaching me and giving me a new passion to enjoy.
Oh,
And
That
it's
makes
been
us so
amazing.
happy.
Yeah,
thank you
thank
so much
you.
for having us on.
Thank you so
We
much.
always say too, once a friend of the show, always a friend of the show. So you're welcome back anytime. Maybe after we do get Dr. Boca in your pupil chair, we'll revisit this conversation down the road.
They'll do a debrief on me and how and what that experience was like teaching me.
Exactly.
Yes,
For
right.
those of you out there listening, if you have comments, questions, concerns for Dr. Boca or myself, you can always find us at unpolishedtherapy@gmail.com, Instagram and Facebook at Unpolished Therapy. You can watch us on TikTok or YouTube at Unpolished Therapy. I think one is podcast, one is just Unpolished Therapy. Search for it, you'll find us. I am Rachel Silver-Cohen with the one and only Dr. Boca, DB, and the Canasta Girls, my Canasta Queens, Lisa Youngelson and Liz Ginder. Thank you both for hanging out with us on the corner of
Thank you.
Audacity and Advice. This has been another episode of Unpolished Therapy. We will see you next time when our wheels and yours get spun upside down.
Bye.
Great sesh, girls! Hey everyone, like what you heard? Then don't miss out on what comes next. Subscribe now and please give the girls a 5-star rating. Learn more at www.unpolishedtherapy.com. Find and like them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll see you next week when Rachel Silver-Cohen and Dr. Boca ditch the couch, grab the mic, and break down all the wreckage.